A meeting of top educationists has just ended in Port Moresby. The thrust of their deliberations was to prevent and eventually eliminate leakage of examination papers that has apparently led to cheating during exams, particularly in grades 10 and 12. To get more on how that's going to happen, I talked to Titus Hatagan, the first Assistant Secretary, Curriculum and Measurement of the National Department of Education. Titus Hatagan, thank you for coming on to the program. We've done this before, haven't we?
Yes, we have. Yes.
Okay. This time we're going to talk a little bit about cheating in schools, and now you're looking into ways of preventing it and eventually eliminating it. But before we talk about measures to eliminate it, let's first of all look at the impact of cheating, the level of cheating and the impact it has had on schools, on examinations, on the country even.
Well, cheating is just one aspect. If we can say malpractices.
Malpractice, okay.
Malpractice of in examination.
Sure.
Yeah, so cheating is one aspect, and another aspect could be leakages of the information.
Sure.
And the first instance, we are looking at trying to start up with that particular area.
Okay.
And the workshop that we are currently having at Dixie's is basically looking at that to start addressing the leakages of the examination question. So as soon as it leaks out, then it goes to the next one now. The children have access to it.
Yes.
And then they go through it, so they sort of memorize the answer. They cheat in doing so.
Okay. So it is probably unfair. I mean, the perception out there is that when you talk about cheating, you're immediately thinking that the student has cheated. That's the perception out there. But you're quite right. There's some leakages around there, and that's not necessarily students.
No.
It could be people behind examination papers, whatever. So talk about that.
Basically, all people that are involved in the whole process, starting from writing the items and right through to printing,
Sure.
right in through to packing,
Okay.
to distribution,
Okay.
and eventually before it actually gets to the students.
Yeah. So there's about 5 different people who could possibly be responsible for the leakages you're
That's
talking
correct.
about.
Yes, yes.
Wow. So how do you address that?
Well, it's a common issue that all of us need to partake in, both together the citizens, all stakeholders.
Yes, yes.
All right, because everybody tend to depend on examination, where they look forward to the results of the examination to ascertain where next the children are going to go to.
True.
So
true.
it's everybody's business.
Yes.
The public at large, the parents, the community, the stakeholders, and so forth.
So how, if you think about it, how did it start? I mean, and how far back did it start?
Well, I can't really get to how far it actually started, but it became very obvious in the past 5 years.
Okay.
It became very obvious, and we can detect that within our system as well, the system in which records all the results. We now have a refined system that can actually detect it.
Okay, well, we'll go into that. But when you detected it, or when you knew that there was cheating going on in the last 5 years, that's when it got out of hand that you knew. So it would have been there many years before that.
I guess so, yes. Yeah. You're quite right, yes. The system that we have is actually now current, that we used as of last year.
Okay.
And basically it can detect whether the students have actually done the examinations themselves or cheated.
Okay.
Because you take into consideration the performance internally, where you have the internal exams and then the external exams.
Yes. Okay, and then looking at the big picture, Titus, is that those who have cheated and have gone on to higher learning, surely they wouldn't have done well. And then at the end of the day, we lack in quality human resource that we expect from universities and what have you.
Absolutely. The scenario is such that when students cheat, they're not actually putting a real, true impression of academically what they are.
No,
So
no.
when they go to the next level
Yeah.
and they perform academically, like somebody, one can simply say, they fall down so easily.
Yeah.
And at the end, the student himself becomes a loser.
Yes.
Yes.
But then the parent loses, the country
Exactly,
loses.
exactly,
Yeah. Yeah.
exactly.
Wow, wow. So we're looking at which schools are they particularly? Is it grade 10s, grade 12s, grade 8s? Who are they?
Well, at the moment, the very obvious ones that have been coming up is the 10s and the 12.
Okay.
But, I mean, while students are watching this program and the parents, I want them to get the message clear now that at the moment the focus is on grade 12s.
Yeah.
All right, and we are getting a bit tougher in that aspect. Tertiary institutions, I'm also advised by one of the members of the investigation team, who's, I think, is a vice chairman of the one of the universities, has informed us that now that particular university is having a pre-entry test. So despite their academic performance, if they have cheated in actually getting the results in grade 12, there is another
Oh, I
pre-entry
see.
test.
That's
Yes.
interesting.
Yes.
When is that starting?
I think I hear that this particular university is starting it next year.
Next year.
Yes.
In fact, it should be a thing that all universities take on board.
Well, it'd be good. It will be good for us, for the system, for the country. It'll be very good because we need real academic students to go right through.
Absolutely.
And not somebody who's just basically got gradings because of cheating.
Yeah, yeah. And then not only do they cheat and get up there, they're also occupying a
Somebody
space
else's
for
space.
for a brighter student, and also taking up the money that is meant for another person as well.
Absolutely, yes.
Yeah, the combination of things involved here.
Yes.
All right.